Hello and welcome. I am Dr. Sheila Halpin. I am at the South Florida Museum this evening. We are hosting another VPK event. We are having 9 weeks of summer fun for our VPK families, and South Florida Museum has offered to host one for us this evening. Families are coming out with their VPK students, and they are learning about different things in the museum, and it's going to be a hands-on event too. They're also going to have bilingual night tonight, so we're going to be speaking in English and Spanish. So stay tuned and see all the fun that we're having. Mr. Rogers, thank you so much for hosting tonight's event for VPK families. Why is this important?
For the museum to have a contact in the community through the Manatee County School District, through VPK, helps us reach communities that we normally are not able to communicate with very effectively. It's hard to reach some groups of people. This gives us a way to reach out, bring them in, and to have you here to help welcome them and to help share information is invaluable to us.
What will the families be doing this evening?
All kinds of things. Hands-on activities, shark dissections, making birthday cards for Snooty, spending time in the aquarium, in the planetarium. There's a showing of Nemo in the Planetarium Theater. There's really something for everybody to do, no matter what their interests are.
So this is something that families are doing together. The parents are doing this with their children.
You'd be surprised how much moms and dads jump in and say, oh yeah, that looks like a kid's thing. Wait, I want to do that too. So yes, it really does turn into a family night in the truest sense of the word.
And how will this help children learn about the museum?
Museums are special places to learn because we have the stuff, we've got manatees, we've got planetariums. These are ways to experience science and art and culture in a way that there's really no other place to do it like this. So to get kids in and get them in front of a giant mastodon or in front of a real manatee really sparks something in some kids. So this is an essential part of the learning landscape in our community. It's one way to learn, and for a lot of kids it's the most fun way to learn.
So families can come out tonight and take advantage of this opportunity, but they can come back another time too, correct?
What we do family nights on the first Saturday night of every month throughout the course of the year. But of course we're open every day through the summer. So any day people want to come by, there's always something going on at the museum. We are going to dissect a spiny dogfish. This is a small shark. They're really, really common. We wouldn't have to worry about these guys. So we're going to take a look at 3 different levels. We're going to take a look at his outside. We're going to take his skin off so that we can take a look at the shark's muscles. Then we're going in deep and we're going to take a look at the internal organs. So sharks are fascinating. They've been around for hundreds of millions of years. They are a top predator. These guys are so good at what they do, at hunting in the water, that we think that it was sharks that prompted some life forms to decide that they didn't want to live in the water anymore. Maybe we ought to try that land thing out, and thus we get animals with 4 legs moving up onto land. Because these guys are great hunters. They have senses that you and I don't have that help them to locate their prey. So let's take a look at some of the external features on this guy. First, you'll notice that he is very hydrodynamic. His shape is perfect for slicing through the water. His tail would normally be straight up and down like that. And anytime you see a pointy tail in nature, that means that they can cut through the water very quickly. So this is like having a boat's propeller, and it allows the shark to move through the water very quickly. And when we take a look at all the muscle that's down inside here, you'll get an idea of the muscles that he can use to drive himself. His nose comes to a point. It's called a rostrum. That's what we call his nose right there. And it's hard to see, but right here in front of his eyes, there's a little hole. All right, so we call that an external nare. That nare allows water to move through. So as long as the shark is moving forward, water is going in through his nares. It's a lot like your nostrils. What that does is it keeps water moving over the shark's gills. So his gill slits are back here, right in front of his pectoral fin. That's how they breathe. That's how they get oxygen out of the water. So water goes in through the nares or through the mouth, floats over those gill arches, and then out through the gill slits. He also has back here 2 more holes behind his eyes. These are called spiracles. And these spiracles, they kind of give the shark a sense that you don't have. So water goes in through there, and they don't quite smell it, but they can pick up chemicals in the water. So it's kind of like a little mini chemistry lab inside of there, and they can pick up chemical signatures in the water from different types of fish or other prey that they might have, or other predators that might be coming after the shark. So they can sense those chemicals that are associated with other food sources. Down the side here, you notice how it's a little bit whiter as you move down the sides here and here. This is called the lateral line. And the lateral line is, you can think of it as kind of like a radio antenna. It's another sense that you don't have. If there are vibrations in the water or electrical pulses in the water, the shark can pick up on those with these lines that run down his side. So those 2 features, the spiracles and the lateral line, are associated with senses that you and I don't have. So these guys have all of the senses that they need to be excellent hunters. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to start by removing his skin. Now, this comes off easily sometimes. Sometimes it's a little difficult. What I'm going to try and do is just get my scissors in just beneath the skin. I'm going to try not to cut any muscle, and I'm going to work my way up towards the top, and I'm going to see if we can't unwrap this guy so we can see his musculature. You'll notice I'm keeping my scissors sideways. I'm not digging in and going rah, 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 rah. So you have to be pretty delicate with a dissection. There we go. The skin loosens up as you move up here in towards the abdomen.
I poked one of the starfish with a magnifying glass to see if it was stiff.
Was it stiff?
It kind of. I just didn't want to get freaked out.
Yeah, this guy's skin was a little bit tough. So we actually went all the way in through the muscle, which isn't a terrible thing. So I'm just going to make some incisions here across the side, here through the middle, and back down here near the cloaca, and turn him around, and another incision here, here, and back up here. So I wasn't able to just do his skin because it was a little bit tight, but now we have opened up the interior cavity. And yes, you're welcome to come up and take a closer look if you would like to.
Is there going to be a liquid that shoots out?
No, but do notice, do you see all of this oil here? So sharks are really oily. They have a lot of oil in them. This helps them with buoyancy. So oil floats on top of water, right? So you'll see an oil slick if oil gets spilled in the ocean. If you try and mix vegetable oil at home with water, the oil will float up on top of the water. Sharks generate a lot of oil inside their bodies, and that helps them to make sure that they are always floating. So they don't have to work too hard to float. They won't just sink to the bottom. The oil raises their body up. Notice, so I cut right through, I wasn't able to separate the skin and the muscle. This is all muscle here. So notice there's no fat on a shark. You don't see any fat inside here at all. There's skin on the outside and it goes right to a layer of muscle right there. Sharks are like an eating tube. So what we're going to see is there's a whole lot to do with their digestive system, but you got a mouth, you've got a very short esophagus, which is like your throat right there. It goes right into a stomach and then down into intestine and then right out the rectum that's right back here.
Does it mean that there are weak spots? Is the throat and as water going to open up the mouth?
What's what?
You're going to open up the mouth?
I am going to open the mouth so you guys can see his teeth. He doesn't have big teeth. He's a little shark.
I know.
So here, let's pry his mouth open a little bit. So you just see a small row of teeth right here, and there's another small row of teeth down here. I can't let you guys feel his skin right now because this guy is just, you don't want that on your hands, do you? Nah, I didn't think so. But the teeth are made out of the same material that the skin is. So the skin is actually like millions and millions and millions of little teeth that are covering the outside of the shark as well. Okay, so now that we've got them open, I'm going to get right in there. So I'm actually going to take these flaps off so you can all see a little bit better.
Oh, you're ripping it right off.
I am not ripping, I am cutting carefully. There's a big difference.
At least this weren't a baby gazelle section.
We wouldn't do that. All right. This is one of the pectoral fins right here. You'll notice that it's associated with the muscle that's right here. We're going to take the pectoral fin off on the other side and the muscle that's associated with that. There. All right, so pectoral fin, pectoral fin. No, I'm not going to cut off his tail. We don't need to.
I've got a question.
Yes?
Do sharks have skeletons?
Do sharks have skeletons?
No.
They do, but
It's cartilage.
shark skeletons are not made out of bone like other vertebrates. You're absolutely correct. So grab your ear. Grab your ear and wiggle it. Your ear is made out of cartilage.
And your
So
nose.
it holds its shape. You can scrunch your ear down and it'll spring right back into shape. Cartilage is actually really good for putting together a skeleton. It's lightweight, it's flexible, hard to break. It's hard to break your ear.
What about the nose?
It's all cartilage. In fact, the last thing that we're going to do before we get done is I am going to shave the skull cap off of this shark, which is made out of cartilage, so we can see his brain. I couldn't do that with you because you have a hard skull. Sharks have a, here's the big science word, cartilaginous, which means made out of cartilage skeleton. Later on tonight, go up to the aquarium where Snooty lives upstairs, and we have a model of a shark skeleton up there. And you can see how it looks very much like a normal skeleton, but you can also see that it's not bones.
Are we going to look
check it out.
inside of its body?
Yes, I'm getting there now. You're brave right up here in front.
I don't really care.
Okay. So the first thing that you'll notice is we cut in and you see all of this gray matter right here. These are 2 of the 3 lobes of the shark's liver. So this is liver, and this 3rd lobe in the center is also liver. Down here, there's a similar colored organ. This is the spleen. The liver is really important for digestion. It creates bile, which is one of the digestive juices that the shark uses. Sharks are not very good at chewing their food. You know, your parents are always telling you, chew your food, chew your food. It will help with your digestion. Sharks are not interested in chewing up their food. They use their sharp teeth to slice their food, but then they just take in big chunks. So they need a lot of digestive juices in order to digest these big chunks of food. The liver is also the source of all that oil. So the liver holds on to a lot of oil. So all of this, it's kind of like an internal life preserver. So remember I said sharks are buoyant? This is where all of that oil for the buoyancy is. Yes?
Considering the oil helping it float up, and sharks die if they don't move, so does that help with it?
So long as the shark is floating, ocean currents will generally move it around. So it's hard to find any water that's ever standing perfectly still. So yes, just the fact that they are buoyant means that they're almost continually in motion.
Also, if the shark didn't have that, it would like struggle to get back up, meaning it would be tired, so then it would die more easier.
Right, exactly. So that is an adaptation for sharks. Manatees are almost exactly the opposite. If you go back up to the aquarium later, take a look at the manatee skeleton, you'll notice that he has lots and lots of big, thick, heavy ribs. Manatees' skeletons are designed to weigh them down so that they can sit down at the bottom of the water and not move a lot. And they can fill their lungs up with air and they can move up and down that way. So manatees want to sit on the bottom because that's where their food is. They don't want to have You've all been in a swimming pool? Do you ever try to sit on the bottom of the pool? Take a deep breath and go sit on the bottom?
I saw the kid do it.
And you've got to work really hard to stay down. You're continually, you expend a lot of energy to stay on the bottom. Manatees don't want to do that. But sharks want to be floaty, so they float. All right, so this is all liver. We're going to get rid of the liver. I'm going to take the liver right out because it takes up so much space. I'm actually going to cut all the way up
To the mouth.
to the mouth.
Can you sew the liver?
Can you what?
Sew the liver?
Sew it?
No, sew.
Oh, show? Yes, I will show you. Definitely I will show you the liver.
You have to throw it in the garbage, though.
Yeah, well, I have a special bag for disposing all of this stuff.
Wait, was it, did you like kill it?
No, we purchased this special for this. These sharks were raised to be dissected like this. All right, so here you'll notice as I'm cutting down underneath the mouth, a couple of things. This is all muscle in here. All right, so think meat. All right, so muscle, 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 muscle.
I see teeth.
Muscle, 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 muscle. This is the shark's main job. So shark is an eater. So most of the strong muscles that he have, they're all associated with the lower jaw. The shark can't move his upper jaw. It's part of the skeleton. So all of his chomping power comes from that lower jaw down there. So all those muscles are associated with that.
You're gonna cut through there in order to, like show the jaw.
We'll get there. Patience, patience. Notice also here, that little structure there that looks like teeth. Do you see those right in there? Mm-hmm. Now I just kind of pulled that out from the side. That is one of the gill arches. So this is a bit of cartilage with some little teeth-like structures on it, and that is a supporting structure that holds the gills out. Right? So the gills are important for respiration, for getting their oxygen out of the water. I'm going to cut the gill arch, and I'm just going to trim, 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 and right up here, not too terribly big, sitting right up on top of the liver, the heart. All right, so this is the shark's heart. It's not big. All right, so it's a very small organ right there, same basic color. It's not always like you see it in the books where they're all colored, where the heart is always red and the organs are all different colors. So someday when you're all doctors, and you should all be, one of you has to be really, I'm gonna need you guys someday. So pay careful attention to your anatomy lessons so that you can be my doctor someday. This is the shark's heart. I'm just going to cut that right out. 3 lobes of the liver, that one little bit that's hanging down in the middle right there, 2 big lobes that hang down from the sides. So we'll put that up there. Hi. Heart and liver. Now, we already said that this bit down here is the spleen. This is the stomach. All right, so remember I said sharks are like eating tubes? So from the mouth, there is a short little esophagus, and it's pretty wide. Remember, sharks don't chew their food too much, so they have these big chunks of fish going down. So he has a wide throat that goes right down into the stomach, which follows down here. And notice that it makes a little J shape right there. And it kind of turns around here and heads back up. So you kind of have an upper stomach and a lower stomach down here. And there's another small organ associated with it right here called the pancreas. All right, so the pancreas is another part of the digestive system.
It seems
Yes.
that there are a flat skin hanging from the bottom.
Down here, yes. So you are the same way. We are all kind of tubes. So think of yourself as a tube. You've got a mouth on top and all of your organs are inside, and you're kind of like a cylinder that goes down, and all of that stuff has to be held in place. So you have the muscle on the outside, then you have the organs, then you have the skeleton. So there are tissues that connect all of that, and that's what you're seeing right there. Can you see that tissue connecting the digestive system up towards the dorsal side of the shark, which is where his spinal column is? So those are connective tissues. So those tissues are just holding everything in place. So everything doesn't go mushing around inside the shark. So we can take that out, like so.
stomach looks like?
The stomach twists, it goes back here past the pancreas, and it goes down this tube right here, which is the rectum. That's where the waste goes. And all that comes out through the back here, and this is called the cloaca. So the cloaca is just where all the waste comes out. So I'm just going to cut here. And I'm going to cut up top here. I'm going to remove the stomach. And we're actually going to open the stomach just to see if this guy ate anything before he made it over to the museum. So sometimes you get lucky, and there's a last meal in here.
Before it's sentenced to its death?
Well, I'm afraid whatever was in here has been sentenced already. And the answer is no, there's nothing inside there. But take a look inside the stomach and notice that it's not smooth on the inside. Notice all the ridges that are in there. What that does is it creates a lot of surface area. These are all ridges and places where all those digestive juices can collect. And this is what helps the shark to digest its food. So you need a lot of surface in there, area in there for all those digestive juices. So we'll put there like that so you can see that there. Now, we are looking up top right here. And what we learned looking up top here is this is a male shark. The shark's reproductive organs are up here near its head. So these two small features right here, which are going to be hard to cut out, these are the testes. And so that tells me this is a male shark.
It must be a hard job trying to cut all those.
It's actually not too hard to cut these guys out.
They're fragile.
I'm trying to make sure I get the pieces out so you can see what they look like. Yeah, experiences like this can help us create new vegetarians. Right, his muscles are important to him. And it is actually, I said it's easy to cut through these guys. These are really sharp science scissors. So these are like the scissors a surgeon would use. If I ran into any trouble, I have my scalpel here just in case I needed to really cut through something that's difficult, but I haven't needed to use that. All right, so testes, this is the reproductive organs for a male shark. Yes?
Wouldn't it have been easier to cut open through there the first time with that, so the little incision, instead of having to didn't you want us to just remove the skin at first?
Well, I wanted to make sure I didn't cut any of the internal organs and that I got a nice flap coming open. So yeah, I could have just gone rawr, 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 but I wanted to make sure that I was safe about that.
I mean, we could. I wasn't saying going really fast. I'm just talking about the scalpel.
Oh, yes, but I have more control with the scissors. I have a sense of touch with these, so I can get in and lift and make sure that I'm moving the muscle and skin away from the organs and then cut, and then get back in and lift and cut. With the scalpel, I have to cut down towards the organs. You never want to use a scalpel cutting up. If I was doing that, then that scalpel would come up towards you, and I'm greasy and slippery and oily right now. I wouldn't want to throw my scalpel at you by accident. Yes?
Well, why couldn't you just try to show us it by squeezing the stomach?
Squeezing? Well, I wanted to see what the inside of the stomach looked like, because it's kind of fascinating that it has all those ridges inside.
It would be more fun if you squeezed it out.
Well, okay, maybe the next one. I'm doing another one at 6 o'clock. Maybe we'll squeeze it like a toothpaste tube. Okay, now, notice we're empty now, all right? So we've gotten all there's not a whole lot going on in there. It's mostly liver, stomach, and that's it. Remember, sharks are eating machines. You guys have any other questions about sharks? No? We answered them all along the way?
Yeah. I have a question.
Yeah.
The shark skeleton in the museum. How did they get it? Since
That's actually a sculpture. So we had an artist make an exact replica of what the shark skeleton would look like, because they're very hard to get a clean shark skeleton from nature.
Decay in the exhibits, and that would be very delightful.
So yes, that's a sculpture that's made out of plastic. Okay, well, guys, thanks for spending some time with me and my shark. Yes?
But wait, if it's made out of cartilage, why is there bone?
Well, there isn't. There's no bone. When you go upstairs and you look at the shark skeleton,
Are they just like replicating the parts where it would have bone, or?
the cartilage acts like bone. Just like the cartilage that makes your ears kind of acts like bone, but it's not solid like bone. It's more flexible than bone would be. So your ears maintain their shape. They're rigid.
Somewhat like rubber.
Okay, good. Yeah, like rubber or like a soft plastic, but not rigid like a bone. So sharks are very pliable, very bendable, and this is all the skeleton they need. When you're an animal that lives in water, you don't need a very rigid skeleton because you're not fighting so much gravity. The water kind of helps to hold you up. You have to fight against a lot of gravity. Gravity is always trying to pull you down to the ground. If you didn't have a rigid skeleton, you would just go bloop and turn into a blob on the ground.
Like the blobfish.
Like the blob, yes. So rigid skeletons are more important for land animals than they are for sea animals. Fish have bony skeletons, but they're very delicate. Go upstairs and take a look at the fish skeleton and the shark skeleton. You'll see a lot of similarities and a lot of differences, but look at how delicate the fish bones are. They are not really good for holding up against gravity. They're good for helping the fish to hold its shape.
I've been upstairs before on a field trip a while ago. But
Welcome back.
my second time here now.
Go check out that shark skeleton again. I think you'll have some more insight into it.
Let's go get some dinner.
I am being joined by Nate, and Nate is going to walk us through one of the activities that the children are going to be doing this evening. Nate, what are you coordinating for us?
Today we have for the kids, we're doing Snooty's birthday party, which here the kids can create their own cards for Snooty. We also have the aquarium where kids get a chance to, use these arts and crafts, create their own aquarium, put what they want, see what they've learned in the museum, and add that and make their own fantasy of an aquarium. We have things such as stamps, markers, stickers, and kids can make the card for Snooty's birthday here as long as they can put this form, put their information on that, and enter into the card contest.
So they can be creative and have a good time while they're learning.
Yes, that's very true. Right now we have about 30 cards that have been entered, so we hope to get a good turnout tonight from the kids for the cards.
So it's a competition.
Yes, it's a competition. Last year we had over 200 cards that were entered, and from about 4 different countries as well. So we're hoping to have a big turnout this year. Usually this night we get a lot of cards entered.
So they're only limited by their imagination.
Yes, very true. They can do whatever they want here, do whatever they want to explore.
So we have markers and we have stamps and we have scissors and construction paper.
Yes, we got it all.
So the kids just come here after they tour the museum tonight and then they create a card and that's going to be judged in the competition?
Yes, the aquarium actually is not in the contest, just the Snooty birthday cards. So whatever they want, they can go see Snooty. They can make a card for him. So once they see Snooty, they can say, hey, it was good meeting you, Snooty. Happy birthday. Enjoy your birthday, or whatever they want to do.
So Nate, you're an intern at the museum. What is that?
Well, we have a professor at Hanover. I'm from Hanover College, which is in Indiana, and he has a condo down here, and he's really familiar with the museum, so he always coordinates students to come down here on internships. He offered the internship to me. It was about 2 weeks before school was out, actually, and I was like, wow, Florida, that sounds awesome. And I'm marketing and communications, so I've been working with the marketing and communications department, and it's been a really great experience so far.
So you're learning actually all summer.
Yeah, all summer. It is actually an 11-week internship, and this is our 5th week.
And how do you like it in Florida in the museum?
Oh, it's awesome. Definitely coming from Indiana, the weather down here is definitely a lot different. Just getting the atmosphere of the museum, getting to be with a bunch of friendly workers, and just seeing kids and everyone else come here and enjoy the experience. It's been great.
So do you have a lot of families that come to the museum?
Me personally?
Just the people in the community?
Oh, yes. There's definitely, you see a lot of families walking around with their kids just having a great time. It's nice because we always have new exhibits coming in, so I think they always have something new to look forward to when they come here.
So when you're marketing the museum, what do you do for that?
Well, I've been working with Jessica Shubik a lot. She's the communications manager, actually, and she does a lot of press release stuff, so we get it to the media. They send it out. So that's mainly a big way that we get it out to the people and let them know what's happening in the museum.
Samantha, thank you so much for hosting our VPK night tonight. What's going on at the museum?
Oh, so much. We're doing Planet Ocean tonight, so we're investigating marine biology and the different animals that share our Earth, but we're doing it in bilingual editions. So all of the different books, we have lots of different books that you can usually find in English, so the Rainbow Fish and One Fish, Two Fish in Spanish, as well as all kinds of activities. We're showing Finding Nemo in Spanish, so Buscando a Nemo solamente en español. So we're offering the museum experience for Spanish speakers, which is something very new and special.
So then they're going around to different areas. What's happening in all the different areas tonight?
Well, in our classroom, we're doing shark dissections. So at 5 and 6 o'clock, students can watch a shark dissection. They can actually touch a real skate and sea star, and they can investigate it and use tools of science to figure out how much it weighs and how long it is, things like that. We also have our touch tank upstairs, so they can really touch these live creatures and investigate their habitat. And then throughout the museum, activities and things like that for families to engage in together.
And we are actually in the craft center. So families are going to come here and do what?
Well, here we have Snooty's birthday is coming up this month. July 19th is the party. And so students are encouraged to create a Snooty birthday card. And they can actually register it into a contest and win prizes. So that's what we have everything set up here for. So really get everyone engaged and excited about Big Guy's birthday. He's going to be 66 years old, which is absolutely amazing. We have a huge birthday bash for him. So this is a way for people to physically engage with that and then come back and see their card on display. We also have build an aquarium so that as students go around and they see the kinds of animals that live under the ocean, maybe they can create their own. So, you know, it may be hard to have a pet octopus, but here you can actually build your own little pet octopus aquarium.
And we are so happy that you're hosting us this evening because we're actually having 9 weeks of activities for our VPK families. So this is an event that children and families can go through together.
Absolutely. I think that's fantastic. I think that people need to realize and have fun with learning and say that, you know, we are all the teachers of children in our lives, especially parents. And so by coming here together and seeing the different activities, we're really encouraging parents to be the lead. We have provided the materials and the experience, but it's really the parents that are the teachers. And that will really come to life a month from now. On August 2nd, we have Family Night Reading Festival is the theme. And we will have all kinds of different activities. We'll have authors here to talk about their books. And the idea is that we provide lots of different games and ways for parents to read to their kids and approach literacy in a fun, family-oriented way.
So this is a great event to come out to and to look forward to more throughout the summer.
Absolutely. I hope to see everyone here at some point.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Benny and Gabby, thanks so much for coming out for our VPK evening.
Thank you for wanting to see us here. It's actually the first time I've been here since I moved to the city for 25 years ago.
And you're here with your granddaughter? And
Gabby. Hey, Gabby. You think it's fun to be here? No. Yes. I think it's at a ball here. It's nice. There's so much nice stuff to see. I haven't been the whole way through yet, but so far I'm very impressed. For sure.
So do you like doing things with Gabby?
And when I got a chance for it, and I'm just a granddad, the second granddad. So anytime we got a chance, we're doing something. Isn't that true, Gabby? Gabby, she's very shy.
Well, grandparents have a great impact on their grandchildren's lives. So we thank you so much for coming out this evening.
Thank you for wanting to see us.
So you are going around and examining all the different things in the museum. What's some cool things that you've seen so far?
I'm looking to the old woodwork. And you know, it's amazing to see what they could do with a little bit of hand tools they got. And it is, and I enjoy it.
Has Gabby gone to see Snooty yet?
Yes, we have been up to see Snooty, and we have seen the 2 other manatee up there. They all look great.
So it's important to keep children active over the summers, and this is one of the events that we're hosting this summer. So are you glad you came out?
Absolutely, absolutely.
Well, we are glad that you are here with us. So thanks so much.
Thank you. I appreciate being here. Thank you.
You are welcome. Thanks for coming, Gabby.
Gabby, you want to say bye-bye?
Bye-bye.
Oh, yes, I can do that.
I am being joined with Rivers and Stacy, who came out this evening at our South Florida Museum night. We are in the Reading Nook. Rivers, are you having a good time?
Yes, it's a lot of fun. It's one of my favorite museums.
And what did you do tonight?
Oh, I saw a shark dissection, and yes, that was really cool.
And we are in the Reading Nook. Stacy, what are you two doing hanging out here?
We're hanging out over here reading tonight and having a really good time experience in the South Florida Museum.
It is bilingual night, so did you learn any Spanish words tonight?
We have learned a little bit of Spanish tonight. Have you, Rivers?
A few, yes.
And that's what it's about, just kind of coming out and exploring together as a family. So what was your favorite part? So you did the sharks, and then what else did you do?
I saw Snooty because that's always fun. Like seeing Snooty, that's really great.
And why do you bring Rivers to events like this, Stacy?
Well, we like to give Rivers authentic experiences so he can see new things and to really be more well-rounded, so whenever he's in school that he has some kind of prior knowledge to that information.
And you also brought some of your friends that are participating in VPK this year. What's VPK?
VPK is voluntary pre-K, and it is something that's offered in our district, and it's a great opportunity, and you really should utilize that because it gets our children ready for kindergarten.
And we have a full event of summer activities that are happening all over our community. And we're hoping that you'll come out and visit us for some more of them, Rivers. Do you think you will?
I'm hoping, yes.
And you'll bring those 4-year-old friends out with you too?
Yes.
In Rivers, we're in the Reading Nook area. So what are you doing here?
Oh, I'm reading many books. This is one of them, called Sharks. Teaches you about all the different sharks.
And do you enjoy reading?
Yes, it's a lot of fun. It's very enjoyable.
And you were just in a play, and you had a performance that you did. What's a performance?
Oh, it's like when you get up and you do something and you perform, I want to say, and it's a lot of fun. You just get up and do it.
And you had a starring role in that, correct?
Yes.
And what was the play?
Oh, it was Peter Pan Jr., and I actually played John, which was one of Wendy's brothers.
And you had to read your script, didn't you?
Yes. I had to study it really well to get my lines memorized.
So reading helped you with that?
Oh, yes, it really did, because it helped me understand what the words meant and how to to perceive them and how to understand them.
And Stacy, when did you start reading with Rivers?
Actually, I started reading to Rivers while I was pregnant with Rivers. And then once he was born, we continued that, and it became a tradition that every night whenever he was going to bed, we'd read a couple books, and he was able to pick out those 2 books. And it's something that's lasted over the years. Rivers is a really good reader, and we find that it really pays off his reading. I feel like me reading to him has been part of that, and he enjoys it. And just like you said earlier, he was in that play, and he was able to memorize his lines very quickly because he's so proficient at reading. Yeah.
And is it a family event? Does your husband read and your other daughters?
We sure do. All of us are readers. We all have different genres that we enjoy. However, at times we have shared some of the same books, and we really enjoy reading as a family. And then we really like it whenever it comes out into a movie, and we get to read the book and then go see the movie.
And another thing that you do, I know, is listen to books on tape in your car.
Actually, we do. Rivers and I shared that experience with Lone Survivor. We listened to that book on tape, and then we were able to go see the movie and be able to compare those 2 things together.
So in getting ready for this evening, since we knew that this was going to be focusing on animals and sea animals, did you start to read any books or get ready for the night anyway?
Well, I want to say that I did, but I honestly didn't. But I did read a little.
You did read a little, but now that you learned so much about sharks, do you think that'll pique your interest in maybe studying some more about sharks when you go home?
Oh, yes, I really want to figure out more.
And what did you learn about the peanut earlier?
Oh, that's if you took a peanut and then you compared it to a shark's brain, you've basically got a shark's brain.
Amazing. So you not only came out tonight, you actually learned things.
Yes, that was really cool.
Well, thank you so much, and we hope you continue reading, Rivers.
Yes, thank you.
Oh, hello. My name is Lisa Fernandez, and I'm a school social worker with Manatee County Schools, and I'm here to volunteer and help out the families with the bilingual translation for the night. Well, I believe it's very important that the kids that have the both languages at home, and for those that want to learn Spanish, get a little bit of information on both languages, how the movie that they're going to see tonight, Finding Nemo, in both languages, so they can relate to how you say fish in English, fish in Spanish, and different ideas about both languages to get acculturated. Well, I know the families will get to see and get a tour around the museum. They get to experience the touch tank. Some of that information is going to be given in English and Spanish. Families will have the opportunities to also have the kids be reading in Spanish and in English. So we have some of the volunteers that will be reading to the kids in Spanish as well. Well, I think summer is a space between the schools, and it's important to keep our kids active in learning, because there will be 2 months out of school, and some of these parents will need for their kids to get ahead in reading, or they will need to get information on different activities during the summer where the kids can be busy and learning at the same time. Well, I think early learning is very, very important. For the kids start developing their brain very, very early, and VPK will have a lot of activities where the kids can engage and learn in different languages as well as we're doing tonight, and it will keep them, active. For us, it's our job to have the parents and the kids engage in learning all the time. And we want the participation not only of the kid and the school personnel, but of the families as well. So we want to encourage those families to come and participate in all of these different activities. Queremos que las familias se unan con el distrito para que puedan traer a sus hijos a participar en las diferentes actividades que tenemos en el verano, para que sus hijos se mantengan activos durante el verano en participar en cursos educativos donde pueden aprender un poco más. Estamos en estos momentos con la familia Basilios y les vamos a preguntar cómo ha sido su experiencia aquí en el museo. Acaban de salir de ver la película Encontrando a Nemo. Bueno, esperemos que tengan una noche donde puedan descubrir más cosas. En estos momentos van a estar van a abrir un tiburón en la otra sala si quieren ir allá para aprender un poco más sobre los tiburones también. Okay, ¿cómo llegaron aquí al programa?
Venimos de paseo.
Okay, la familia viene de paseo y viene aquí a disfrutar del programa que tenemos para ellos, y esperemos que puedan seguir disfrutando un poco más sobre el programa que tenemos para ustedes. Okay, que tengan buena noche.
Thank you to the South Florida Museum for hosting our VPK event tonight. We had a lot of families that came out and enjoyed learning and having fun together. Throughout the summer, we are having 9 weeks of activities for VPK families to come out and learn and experience our community together. If you want to know more about our VPK program, visit us at manateeschools.net. We want to keep children reading and having fun and playing with their families together. I am Dr. Sheila Halpin, and I want to thank you for watching today. And please visit manateeschools.net if you want to find out where we're going to be next in the community. We want to see you there.